The Switch 2 may have been revealed today. So on this episode of Playlog, we're talking about what we want to see from the future Nintendo console and how it can be a better place for indies. I drank the Gatorade before we started. Now the timestamps are going to be off by like milliseconds. They're going to be fine. Hey, everybody. What's up? CGDannyB back in with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. I'm standing today, so I'm going to be moving around a little bit. So if you hear me get far away from the mic and close to the mic, you know what happened. Audio listeners, don't worry. Your headphones aren't broken. It's just me. But, of course, we can't talk indie games alone because that's super boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
Oh, I am tired.
Felt it.
Yeah, I think it might be like this is the year I turned 40. So maybe this is just the my general state of being now. I don't know. But I am exhausted.
Do you know the meme with Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle? Where Don Cheadle's like, I'm like 52 years. Kevin goes, damn! Like, you ever see that clip? Yeah. You're like, I'm turning 40. I'm like, damn! I was just... I didn't. But I was like... If Tofr just played it with me, they just gave me like the Don Cheadle, just like, I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Oh, man. Before we get to the important stuff, let's talk about the unimportant stuff. Tofr.
Yes.
I got my first platinum of 2025.
Ooh.
Mere hours ago, I got the platinum from Marvel Rivals. And that bitch in the book. It was funny because a few years ago when they shut down Overwatch 1 to prepare for Overwatch 2, I was missing 2 trophies. And they were both just like, hey, be really good at the game. And it was like, get like 3 kills without reloading with Reaper shotguns. And then like get 4 kills with Genji's ult. And then when everybody's tanky and knows how to heal, I'm like, I can't do that. I literally can't. I had to squad to get like a bunch of Nomis together and be like, all right, you queue a 6, we'll queue a 6. And when we find each other, let me kill you. So I knocked that out. I put out the TikTok, and some people were just like, oh, you couldn't do it on Rumble. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't do it for real. But how could I do it for real? If you nerf Genji every week, how was I supposed to get that? Anyway, I digress, but I got that. But then Marvel Rivals it's really fun actually because the achievements that you unlock, or the trophies you unlock, are achievements in game which get you currency to buy skins. So it's almost like there's a double motivation to do it anyway. And for the last like 3 or 4 weeks, the only trophy I've had, actually that might just be a lifetime of the game, that can't be right. Anyway, for a few weeks, the only achievement I've had left is Wolverine's, where you have to get 3 kills with his ult. I despise Wolverine's ult. I hate it. And the whole thing is he goes like, Berserker Rage! And then he jumps up and brings everybody off the ground and then dives down with them. And as you hit the ground, boom, damage, right? Sounds great. But when I launch everybody up and I've got people all around me like this and I go, ja, and I miss these 4 and I only get these 2 and then whatever, I'm like, I just can't get it. I can't get it. The one time I got 2 kills and then I slapped a guy, it's like, that doesn't count, man. You got to get all 3 of the like, damn it, that sucks. I did it again today, got 2 kills, slapped a guy. I'm like, damn it, that's not going to be the one. Whatever. We'll try next round. Then as the round ends, it's just like, congratulations, you did it. I'm like, I totally didn't. I've done this many times, but I'll take it. So, part of the platinum today, Wolverine. Never have to play him again. Sorry, bud. You're really cool, but I hate you in Marvel Rivals. Please change him. I digress. Now I can go back to one tricking Black Panther. We're here for it.
Okay.
Just kidding. I like healing too. But yeah, that's our non-indie moment of the day. Before we get rolling, we should probably do some of this housekeeping real quick. But first, drank some liquid by a non-sponsored product. However, if the Zero Sugar sports drink would like to sponsor the podcast, you let me know. We'll talk about it. Alrighty, so quick housekeeping here. This week, the newest episode of Get Wrecked from the Play Along podcast team just released, and I'm on it. Get Wrecked is a show where 2 gamers get together, each recommending each other a game, and then they review them. I recommended that I was recommended to play Planet of Lana, and then I recommended that Jared play In Stars in Time. So check out the episode right now on Spotify on the Play Along podcast feed, and tell them that I sent you, and leave a like and a comment, all that fun stuff, because Jared's really cool. Jared was a chill dude. Only spoke through text for the longest time, so we got on the call. I'm like, you're a chill guy. I like you, Jared. Chill. Cool. Also, head over to somanygames.co.uk where Tofr does reviews. Their fellow writers are already publishing new reviews after the holiday break with, Threefold Reticle, the first game of the year that we've taken a look at. Recital. Like, fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't get to rehearse this one.
It's okay.
I quit. The episode's over.
No, you were doing so great. I'm sorry.
I don't play anymore. I don't like it here. It's a standing episode. We're in a different vibe, everybody. We're doing it. The Threefold Recital is the first game of the year that they are taking on, so be sure to check that out and keep your eyes peeled for Tofr's articles as well. What's this? I don't know. Threefold Recital. What's this one?
Let me see, because I haven't. I wasn't.
Tofr, you don't know your own content.
I didn't review it, but it looks really cool. It's like this game is set in an Oriental fantasy world.
Oh, okay.
And you play as animals, like not animals, but what do you call it?
Anthropomorphic animals.
Anthropomorphic animals.
That means they stand up for the kids who don't know.
Yes, exactly. And it's this side scroller.
What's she here?
Like it's hard to describe if you haven't played it, but it looks cool. I think it looks cool. There's magic involved. There's modern and ancient technologies involved.
Action adventure, mystery, 2D platformer, Oriental fantasy world with the metropolis. So is it like we're preparing for a musical?
Who knows?
Who does that? You know who knows? So Many Games knows. They did the review, you know?
Exactly. If you want to know, you can read the review right now by Jason.
There you go. Head on over, Jason. Shout out to you. And then another quick reminder, as part of the podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club where we go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. And with the holidays taking up the end of December, we had 2 months to play, blah, blah, blah. I still haven't updated this. Yeah, get the point anyway. We're playing Hollow Knight this month. Forge your own path in Hollow Knight, an epic action adventure through the vast ruined kingdom of insects and heroes. Explore twisted caverns, battle tainted creatures, and befriend bizarre bugs, all in a classic hand-drawn 2D style. So, if you want to get involved in the episode, play the game these next few weeks, which is, 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 weeks, so give or take. And then join us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/CGDannyB for the discussion, or catch the upload on YouTube a few days later on youtube.com/CGDannyB. Gotta finish Hollow Knight. We're making headway, but
Same. I'm starting to become unsure if I'll be able to finish it. But I will try my hardest.
Yeah, I'm in a similar spot. I think I'm like not lost, but I'm like, okay, so I gotta do this one. And then I'm playing some Redacted. You're playing some Redacted. But we listen, we got it. Honestly, cheat codes. Where's my Game Shark? But yeah, that's your update. Those are your quick news. Timestamp, bada bing, bada boom. Although I'm looking at this, Tofr. I don't think it made a new document. I think it put timestamps in. Oh no! It put timestamps in an old document that never reset. Oh, no. So currently, that first timestamp is at 143 hours, 57 minutes, and 1 second. So the timestamps are currently broken. So here's what am I gonna do here? What's the best? I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's end this doc. Let's start a new doc. It doesn't. Honestly, timestamps might be fucked this time. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We're good. Anyway, that's the thing. That's a timestamp. You got it. Real quick, we don't have any write-in questions. Remember, you can write into the show and ask us your questions. So be sure to do that. Links in the description. Blah 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 blah. Otherwise, you won't hear your name read online. You want to hear your name read by two handsome people? Put your stuff in. But we can move on to the quick indie news where we have 3 quick little bullet points to discuss. The first one being that Xbox currently has an indie sale going on in the store where it's buy 2, get 1 free. I looked at the catalog real quick. There's quite a few indie games on there. Just a few to note. There's Untitled Goose Game, High on Life, Braid, Lunark, Brawlout, and a bunch more. So if you're on Xbox, you want to check that out. I assume it's just the Microsoft Store, period, not specifically Xbox. So there might also be some PC stuff you can check out as well. I hear that some of the discounts aren't super, super deep. They're just like, you know, your 15, 20s for your indie games, but you buy 2, you get a third one for free. Your cheapest one will be the free one, etc. So, listen, I worked at GameStop. I had the hooligans who are just like, I would like to buy these 2 $5 games and get this $60 one for free. And I'm like, ma'am, that is not how the computer works. I'm sorry. You will get one of the $5 ones for free. It's like, that's not fair. I'm buying these 2. I want this one for free. Ma'am, no. Not how it works, madam.
Yeah.
But
I once had to refuse a customer
uh-huh.
who wanted to buy a new game, a $60 game.
Of course.
And they had saved up all of their single cents. So they had, yeah.
No.
And they came into the store like 10 minutes before we closed. And I'm like, I wouldn't even be able to count all of them quickly enough.
That's
before
ridiculous.
we closed. So yeah, it was a bit rude. And we actually had to refuse them.
Could you sense like ill intent in that? Was she just like, here's my bag of 2 million pennies, or was just like, I finally saved my money? Can we count? Like,
I wasn't really sure.
Okay.
Like they had like, if it were me and I had saved like all of those small coins, I would have at least like grouped them.
Yeah, 100%.
Made like rolls of like 10 or 20 cents per piece.
They come in ready and
but they just came in with a bag.
Yeah, nah.
And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
Because like, there's even at your bank, you can go and dispense and get cash instead. Like that was such an easier. But I don't know. Paying with change, you're a scrub. Stop doing that. No one likes you. Literally nobody. Not even your own parents.
Oh damn.
But yeah, you can buy 2 get 1 free on the Xbox store that you can't use your change on. So
Exactly.
have fun. But after that, we also have the Whitethorn Winter Showcase is announced for February 6th at 1:30 EST. We're going to look at what's to come from the publisher at Whitethorn in 2025. They previously released a bunch of titles that Tofr reminded me of because I didn't recognize it, so I saw the logo. But they had released Botany Manor, Mythwrecked, Witchwood, and Lake, and a whole bunch more. I was a big fan of Botany Manor last year, which we didn't even talk about towards Game of the Year time, which now I'm regretting because that game's really cool. And obviously you talked about Mythwrecked you liked. Yeah, Botany Manor was fun. You just explored and did some fun. So it got hard sometimes. This one of those things we're like reviewing games, right? Where we're early, we get to play it ahead of time, and then when you get stuck, you're like, "Where do I go? I don't know what to do. There's no guides. Like no one can tell me. Like, oh, you just gotta do this." Like, so I had to like brute force some of them. Like, oh, I see, I got it. And then also, I didn't know what friends were having it. I need indie devs. Check it. Pause. We're gonna elongate the indie news real quick, just because they're all so short. I need like spreadsheets. I know you guys do a lot. I'm going to need you to start making spreadsheets, like contact forms. When you give me a review code, like, by the way, here are the 10 other people playing it. By the way, here's a bunch of people you can contact. Shoot them an email, join the Discord, whatever. Let me know. Because that way there's just like, hey, you're also playing Botany Manor. You got any idea about this? They're like, oh, yeah, I just did that. Do this. I'm like, you the best. But
hey, but I've got good news for you because Botany Manor is coming to PlayStation soon. So maybe that's one that you can go for the platinum for.
Yeah, I did not finish, and I'm not much of an achievement hunter on Steam. They pop as I go, so I never really take the time to look what they're at. But I always know usually the Steam trophies will just transition to PlayStation to the exact same. Yeah, I'd have to check. I'd have to see what the trophies looked like, or the achievements on Steam, because it sounds like a fun afternoon. Just pop that plat. You know what I mean? So there's a guy out there how to do it. I still have a bunch installed. I have to do Fall of Porcupine. I still have to do Thank Goodness You're Here. And they're all ones I can just knock out. I just have to play them again. So, you know, life. Oh, man. But speaking of showcases, we got another one. And this one's this week. The Toge Anniversary Direct will be, as of this episode, coming out tomorrow, January 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Getting an update on a bunch of games published by Toge. If you're not familiar, Toge did A Space for the Unbound. They've also done a bunch more, but I didn't prepare myself, so I'm now making them up as I go.
Coffee Talk?
Coffee Talk. We love Coffee Talk. And Coffee Talk, too.
Hang on. Coffee Talk is by them. Vanaris Tactics. When the Past Was Around is a really good one.
Oh my god, I loved When the Past Was Around. Such a good one. Yeah. If you guys want to hear me talk about When the Past Was Around, there's an episode of Tales from the Backlog over my buddy Dave Jackson. We did an episode. We did Space for the Unbound, and bro, what a game! What a fun game. Correction. Fun's not the word. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not very fun, but it's still good. But
it's indie games. Sometimes they're not fun, but they're really good.
Make me cry. I'm here for it. I still have to play Until Then. Space for the Unbound made me want to play Until Then, which I don't think that one's not Toge, right? That's a separate publisher.
It's not.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I have seen YouTube videos claiming that it is the saddest game ever.
Oh, that's fun to hear. Honestly, when I'm in my feels, when I'm feeling some espresso depresso, I'm like, you know what? This is the time. Until Then. Let's cry, team. I can say there's gonna be a day I'm like, Chad, I was gonna stream, but I'm feeling edgy today. Let's cry. And I knock my headphones off doing that bit. That'd be a good one. That'd be a fun one. But yeah, a bunch of indie game announcements and sales, and that is your quick indie news for the day, everybody. And now we're on to the topic of the show. Tofr?
Hell yes.
We're getting the Switch 2 eventually. We don't know when. Now, quick disclaimer. This is, the rumor is, we're seeing the Switch 2 on Thursday, the day this comes out, 2 days after we're recording this. So there's the potential this entire episode is just nothing. It means nothing. Or the SEO is just right there. So we drop this the same day as review. And everyone's like, I can't wait to hear about the Switch 2. And I'm like, yes, we nail it. You'll find out when this video has either 10 or 10,000 reviews. Let me know what's going on there. But so if you had the idea, the Switch 2, big hot ticket item right now. People are talking about it. What's this console going to be? Leaks have been coming up. So we figured we'd talk about like the Switch 2 as a console and like what it could do or what it would be like for indie games on this platform. So anyone out there, what's the Switch 2? Let me tell you. If you haven't heard of the Nintendo Switch, sorry, the audio listeners, I'm holding my Switch. A great Nintendo handheld. It's fun. It's portable. You play all your fun little games on it. Not a big powerhouse, though. No. Few of the leaked details we know about the Switch 2 that aren't confirmed, but are kind of confirmed. We're going to have a larger screen. I don't know if we have actual dimensions. It'll have additional USB ports, so for charging, et cetera, et cetera. We'll have magnetic Joy-Cons, which are the big thing now. I know a lot of us drop our Switches and break the Joy-Cons. They start to, not stay in place or anymore. They'll be magnetic this time around. I don't know how it's going to function in terms of how strong they'll be, because I could see them getting weak and be like, oh, they disconnect. But, we won't know until we see it, for sure. And then of course there's some new mysterious buttons on the controller. We don't know what those are. I think the one, it says a C on it, I think. And people are like, it could be the capture button. I'm like, no, because the capture button's on the other Joy-Con. We already know what that is. So we don't know what the new button is, but it could be something. But I don't know how much you've been following like the Switch 2 or anything. Sorry, you're asking something else too.
I've tried to like not take too much info in yet. Because all of it is just guesswork at the moment.
Right.
And what I have learned, like the things that you just mentioned, seem interesting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as I don't know if seeing what Nintendo has done in the past, I don't know if just an upgrade to the Switch is the way to go.
Right. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about Nintendo's like progression each time they do new consoles. We were talking like NES jumping to SNES being pretty lateral, just a few more hardware enhancements. Then we're talking like the N64 jumping to 3D. We're talking the GameCube having the handle. We're talking about the Wii being the fucking Wii. Like that's, everyone had a Wii. Grandparents had the Wii so they could play bowling. Then we went to the Wii U and then to the Switch. And now this is a very like, the Switch to the Switch 2 seems very much like the 3DS, like the new 3DS. Like it is, we made it bigger, we made it more powerful. Like it is laterals is a little more reductive than I want to say, but it is like one of those as close to lateral as they come where like it's the same thing. And if that is Nintendo being like, look, we saw the success of the Switch. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I can appreciate that. I know outside of indie here, I hated playing the last couple of Pokemon games on this thing with how dog ass it is. It's a terrible machine. It's not strong. Nintendo's always like 15 years behind on their product. Remember when they finally got the HDMI for the Wii U? Took them long enough. But like, I sit there, I'm like, I hope the Switch 2 is semi-powerful. I don't need a powerhouse. I don't need to take a PS5 on the go with the Switch 2. I get what Nintendo does. But like, when I play, this also comes to development. When I play Xenoblade on my Switch, and then I play Breath of the Wild on my Switch, then I play Pokemon on my Switch, and the vast different experience that I got on those games, that's uncalled for. Pokemon should not be a problem like that. We shouldn't be doing that.
The thing is, you mentioned non-indie games, but even with indies, it's giving problems. True. I remember last year you struggled through Arco.
I did.
On the Switch. Yep. But even the year before, I remember wanting to play Mineko's Night Market.
Okay.
And it was unplayable on the
Switch.
And that's 2 years ago. So, but then again, I am wondering, like, if you want to take the concept of the regular Switch and upgrade it to like be more powerful, how are you gonna keep it affordable? Because Nintendo loves making things affordable. They think that they're still making toys that are for all ages, and it needs to be accessible to people.
Yeah.
But like the direct comparison I can make is with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck right now is more powerful than the Switch is, but it also costs like twice as much, I think.
Yeah, because I think the Switch, the OLED Switch is $350, and I believe the cheapest Steam Deck can get is like $450, but you're talking small storage. I think I went for the biggest one, was like in the 6 range, 6, 7.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Which like I'm in the spot right where I've stopped playing my Switch because I got the Steam Deck. The amount of times I get review codes where like I've and we'll talk about like our experiences with the Switch in a little bit here, but like I bought the OLED when this one dropped. I was a big fan of it. I used it all the time to play like my indie titles on it. But it was still the factor of like a lot of indie games just release on Steam and then get console ports later, if ever. So like I was still finding myself playing the Switch less and less, and then it came on PlayStation, it came to PC. Then the Steam Deck dropped. I'm like, I'm far more invested in this because I'm getting a review code. I can go play this on the couch. And it's a more powerful system. Even though I still have some issues with like trying to play it on PC, or like the game I'm playing for review right now is pretty intensive, and that doesn't even launch on the Steam Deck, and it's pre-launch, so I didn't expect it to. But like knowing that the burdens that I've had with performance on the Steam Deck are still so minimal compared to what I've had on the Switch, like speaks volumes to what I'm hoping this becomes. And like, if we get the Switch 2 to launch, I'm expecting $400 at launch day. I don't know entirely how off base that is. I'm not the most Nintendo savvy, like keeping track of their prices, but 400, maybe, $350, $400 sounds right to me. I don't know if like you care enough to price. Like, yeah, I think so. It's probably too expensive for me.
I think it would, like, trying to think like Nintendo, I would probably aim for a price in that range.
Yeah.
But then you consider that the non-OLED Steam Deck, the cheapest one, is even more expensive than that.
Is it?
That makes me think, yeah, it's $420 for the cheapest one. What? And that's the LCD one.
Oh, okay, got it. The Steam Deck. Okay, my brain heard the regular Switch was cheaper than the OLED. No, I'm like, that cannot be. Okay, gotcha. Yes, yeah. Back on board. Yes, it is. So
that means if the Switch 2 is then only $400,
so
what's the performance gonna be like? Because you if they're gonna upgrade the Switch, it needs to be a palpable upgrade. It needs to feel like this is gonna be their next console for the next 8 years or something like that.
Right.
And with Sony also being rumored to go back to handheld to a handheld device, that's probably gonna be more powerful than the current Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So what's Nintendo gonna do?
Man. I mean, you said it already with the like Nintendo likes to make their toys that everyone can play, and I think they use that to make things. As a non-business tech savvy, blah 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 blah. Like I just play the damn thing. Like I can see Nintendo making it as simple as possible and like not really caring about the powerhouse of the console. That's been the generation. Nintendo was the one that had version exclusives of like THQ games because you're like, oh yeah, your game won't run on our platform. Like I remember getting the Switch version of Sonic Unleashed and being like, this is the game. And then seeing a friend play the PlayStation one, I'm like, this is different. This isn't what I have. Yeah. Like Nintendo has different versions of games like because their hardware can't handle it. And speaking back on the Switch, we've seen like all the clips of like Mortal Kombat, right? Of Mortal Kombat 1 or X or whichever one it was, and like that it performs terribly. And like sometimes you gotta keep in mind it could be the hardware, it could be the game and how it's developed, but like I think Mortal Kombat seems like one that was so advanced compared to the last game that it just wasn't meant to be on the Switch. And being in a spot where you're like, your game is not meant to be on our platform, like that, I think that's a flaw. I think giving people the option to play their game as often as they want on whatever platform they want is ideally what you want to have happen. So I think the Switch 2 will still not be as powerful as PS5 or an Xbox Series S or X, but I think it will at least be some gradual step up, so I'm getting a nice performance on the games that I can play on it, along with a launch collection of the Switch 2 remaster of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom bundle, and we'll announce ARMS 2 to come out along with it, or something, and watch me be like right on the nose. I really liked ARMS. ARMS was the first game I bought for my Switch along with Breath of the Wild. Just got bored real quick, but like, but I liked ARMS. But yeah, just like you brought up like my review for Arco, where like I was 50% on whether it was just the hardware or whether it was the game, whether it wasn't optimized properly for Switch. I loved Arco. It was such a great game, but my performance was really hampered by like how stinky this little device can be. And this, as I'm sitting here on this podcast, might be the first time. What's the last game I played? Let me see. Smash Bros. So that probably would have been the Cavenger, but Mika and the Witch's Mountain, which launched mid last year.
In the summer, yeah.
Summer, yeah. That's the last time I've played on this thing.
It was the only 2024 release that I played on the Switch was Mika.
Yeah, so I got my key for review. Thank you guys. Speaking of which, I think that gets. Did you know it wasn't total segue? Did you know it wasn't full early access? That it wasn't like a full release.
It was. I was wondering about that because it had a tag on Steam that said early access, but nowhere else did it mention early access.
Yeah, I had no idea. And then I got the email today, which I don't think it was an embargo thing. I think it's fine. They were like, hey, Mika and the Witch's Mountain 1.0 is at the end of the month, coming to PlayStation, Xbox as well. I'm like, oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why I was like, oh, this wasn't full game. I never finished it on Switch because my plan was to finish it on PlayStation when I got it. Because that's what I did my Kickstarter code for. And I was just like, oh, I thought this was 1.0. Okay, anyway. But like,
that's weird.
Yeah, but Mika ran fine on my Switch. It did fairly well, and I think it was just optimized properly for it. But then, when I argue with Arco, which is such a, we'll say, less intensive game because it's pixel art, it's top down, there's not a whole lot going on compared to something that's 3D open world. Like, it baffles me sometimes where one performs differently than the other. So I'm hoping
look at the Zelda games. The Zelda games run so well, and then the Pokemon games run like ass.
Man, I gotta tell you, Scarlet and Violet was such a disappointment. I'm so pissed. I love some of these new Pokemon, but the fact that I just like gameplay performance was terrible. I hated the sandwiches. I just want some shiny Pokemon, but you made me make us fucking sandwiches. I had to get special sauces by beating the freaking raids, and the raids didn't work because the raids are just like, uh-oh, did you put an attack? You get to go 5 turns from now after the enemy goes 6 times in a row. Like, fuck you. I hated that. The raids suck.
Listen. If you want a fun Pokemon game, go indie. There's plenty of indie games. I wish there was like this content creator that made a video about creature collector indie games. That would be cool.
I might have made one of those at some point. I think I did. Pretty sure it was a TikTok. Yeah. I think I talked to Coromon, Cassette Beasts. Now we got Power World. Power World's not on the Switch, but Beastie Ball. Let's go. We love Beastie Ball. I gotta make a new one of those. Noted. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could just keep bitching about the Switch 2 and how underperformance it is. But
we can also talk about something else that's stinky about the Switch that I'm hoping is going to get a huge upgrade with the Switch 2.
Yes.
It's the Nintendo eShop.
Bro. Listen. I love the simplicity of the eShop, but I also hate opening it. I hate the moment I click on it and it takes more than 2 seconds to launch the store, and I'm just like, I actually don't need to buy anything today. I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. But what's your beef with the eShop? What you hate about the eShop?
Well, the first thing is that like the deeper down the list you go, the more terribly it runs.
Yep.
But it's also about, for example, indies like getting being more accessible to people who just take a casual glance at the eShop.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is gonna spend hours going down the list to see if there's interesting hidden gems there.
Right.
And I remember, for example, with every big sale that they have going on, Hogwarts Legacy is always the first game on the list.
Yeah.
Always.
You gotta buy
it. There's tons of games that you could like switch it up with for once. And they don't. Yeah, you see what I did.
Yeah. Crazy.
But
yeah,
it just makes it hard to discover cool games that way.
Yeah. Like
especially since there's also, of course, the problem with all of the AI schlup that's been dominating the eShop recently.
Yeah, it's not great. And like I again haven't opened it to look at it, but I see the post on like Twitter and like the amount of like hentai games that she pop up here. I'm like, how'd it get on Nintendo? How'd you let that in there? Yeah. But yeah, like I just opened the eShop, took a couple seconds, scrolled down through featured, and we'll exclude Minecraft. That's, a little bit bigger. It took me about 5 or 6 big boy swipes to find Stardew Valley, which again, bigger, but we'll say that's our first indie on the list, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then a couple with Stray, but then we're right back into, Paper Mario's, WarioWares, and now we got Balatro, Little Kitty Big City. So they're still on here. There's still indies to play, which I think this is a great platform because like this has been my indie machine for a long time.
Yeah, of course.
I just think as a company, probably of the big three that like most markets their indies, like with the Indie World Directs and everything, like they could have a more defined indie section on their eShop because I think having those smaller bite-sized things, I, again, not a business savvy person, but like I think how often Nintendo releases their big AAA Mario, Zeldas, whatever, and that time in between of like, what do we want people to buy in our eShop? Because I know I'm not jumping to be like, what can I get on my Switch in between the Mario RPG and the next Zelda game or whatever. Like, I'm going to buy this on my other platform. But for someone who is looking on the Switch for something to play, this is like, I need something, bite-sized, some smaller, like having a whole tab is just like, check out Balatro, check out Stray, check out 17 other indie games like you probably didn't hear about, and they're like a third of the price of what you're going to be buying in a couple months when our new big AAA comes out. Like, it just seems like the best marketing plan to keep someone on your platform and be like, oh, cool, my little screen is in my hand because I found like 20 new games to play that I didn't know about before.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you go to a platform like Steam, at least there you have the reviews. Yeah. So you can kind of base your opinion whether to buy or not on that. But on the Switch, there's just no curation.
Yeah.
It's just everything is just mixed up with each other. And I earlier this week, I saw a video about games on the Switch that just keep on releasing new editions.
Okay.
That go on sale so that they constantly get the boost of being on the sales page.
Okay, we love that.
And it's terrible. It's like, for example, you've got like AAA Clock and stuff like that, and then they have the enhanced edition and the master edition and the complete edition. And some of these, no, seriously, some of these games have like 14 different versions of them on the store, and it's the same game. It's trash, by the way. And it's just it makes it really hard for indies to pop out.
Yeah.
For example, when there is a sale, when there are games like these trying to hog all of the spotlight.
Man, I found a bunch of the AI ones. I was just like, what's in recent releases? Then I had Ecchi Memories Onyx Edition, Hot and Hentai, Ecchi Opie the Complete Edition. Wait, what is Chained Climb Together? That's funny. I
think that's a ripoff
of Chained Together. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. Chernobyl Light. Oh, Body Bite Light Adventure. Okay, hold on. Overclocked. Okay, that game is okay. But yeah, like I'm, and this is in a spot. Oh, I just saw another one that was huge badonglers. Let me tell you, Tofr. The whole thumbnail was just breast. But someone's like, Danny, what was the name? You didn't say the name of the game. What's he fucking talking about? Yeah, finding something that's so exciting to play on the Switch isn't like impossible. I think, again, we have things like the indie world. You have plenty of content creators. I know a lot of cozy creators who like their whole platform is the Switch because it's just like such a great platform for indies. And again, the most successful one we talked about being the cheaper of all the platforms that you have out there. Just the ease of use, being able to play it at home and then take it on the go and take it to work and play on your lunch break. But like it could just use this fine tuning, especially it's lasted these 8-9 years or something like that now. And seeing the step, I just want to see a little bit of improvement there. Because again, as someone who hasn't touched the Switch in so long, like I wouldn't say I'm like super jazzed for the Switch 2. I'm excited to see what it is and be in the zeitgeist of, oh, here's what the platform is. But I waited on the Switch a couple months because like Breath of the Wild seemed cool, but it didn't seem like it was enough for me to buy the console. Then we got ARMS. I picked up that along with Breath of the Wild, and then started picking up each, AAA game that was coming out. But even myself, I can't tell you the last time I finished a Nintendo game. Like, I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't finished Pikmin 4. I mean, Scarlet and Violet probably would be it. But, like, I didn't pick up the new Mario and Luigi game. Like, I just know I'm at the spot where, like, Nintendo games I don't finish. And it's never like, this game was bad. I just, like, I feel like I get in, I get my 10 hours. And I'm like, I've gotten my experience. I don't really need any more of this. So, like, buying a Switch 2 for the exclusives, again, until we get Pokemon, which is much like bitch and moan about it, like, I'm still going to buy a Switch 2 for Pokemon. And honestly, right now is like Pokemon Legends ZA and whatever it's going to be. If that's a cross-generation one, it's on Switch and Switch 2. Like, I'm likely to be like, okay, this is what I need a Switch 2 for. I'm not going to play this on this little dinker. I don't need it. But
I do wonder if we're going to have that crossplay the way we had it with PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah,
if there's going to be games that are going to release for both systems, because it really feels like the Switch is on its last legs.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I'm like, in a way that the PlayStation 4 didn't feel that dead yet.
Yeah. No, we definitely had a nice transition, and like we're at that and probably beyond it right now with the PS5, where there was the just the other day on stream, people being like, I can't believe they didn't release Marvel Rivals on PlayStation 4. I'm like, I respectfully got, and like I say this again to clarify for anyone, like, that's not fair, you can't say it about me. People who like to game like to stay current when they can. I understand all of us can just go and grab the PS5 on day one. I always admit that, like, I still have my connections at GameStop where I'm like, hey, can I come in and pre-order? Like, yes, come do it now. Like, I was able to get a pre-order, but me calling GameStop and be like, hey, can I pre-order the thing was no different than what anyone else can do. And like, I know sometimes that's saving anyone since the launch of the PS5. If financial situations are different, I feel like I have to just keep clarifying myself to make sure I'm not just being like, save some money, loser. Like, fucking buy the damn thing. But like putting aside some money each paycheck if you can, if you're a kid and you're not making your own money, but you're like, hey, mom and dad, this summer I really want, like, what chores we need to do? How do I accomplish getting myself one of these? Like, the grind to get the next generation, now the current generation of console, is something that I've personally dealt with since the 360. Like, I remember having to work to get my 360. And then they announced the Xbox Series X PS4. I was putting aside from paychecks every month. By the time the console came out, boom, paid for it. I did the same thing with PS5. That one I even saved more, where I was just like, I'm going in and I bought like 5 of the launch titles. I bought an extra controller. I bought the controller charging station. I think I spent like $1,000 on day one for the PS5, just because I was like, I'm in it for this shit. And then I'm like, I want the Pro, but like, I don't need the Pro. But one day I might get the Pro and take this one upstairs and then just keep the Pro for stream. Anyway, this is the Switch episode. But yeah, like, I think we see these things of like consoles are announced and then people will say like, why can't the old generation like stay around? And that's not how technology works. It evolves and changes. Like, imagine we were in a world where we're still making games for the GameCube, but we're also making it for the Switch too. Where like, you now have to make developers stretch themselves so thin to make sure that it can play on this thing and this thing. And then you're getting back into the thing I talked about earlier with the like, oh, there's an exclusive version for the GameCube because we all know it can run 4K HD, blah, 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 blah. Not that I think the Switch 2 will either, but yeah, sometimes we got to realize, like, you know what? The PS5 or the PS4 I'm keeping around, but it's time to find that 5. It's time to get my hands on the new one. And
I think so, yeah.
With you mentioned, to circle back around what we were even talking about, the 3DS did the same thing where like you just play your 3DS games in the new 3DS, but you did have things like Minecraft, which were like, oh, this is meant to use the C stick. Like, you can play it on the 3DS, but this game is meant for the new 3DS. Same thing for the Xenoblade remaster, remake, whichever one it was that came to the 3DS. Like, that one was for the new 3DS. You couldn't launch that on the old one. So I think seeing some of the hardware limitations of the original Switch, we will definitely see, not that you can't put the cartridge in your Switch and play it, but like you'll try and be like, this is just not going to function. It's just not going to, I need a Switch 2 to play this. And like, I don't know if that'll be at launch, but it'll definitely be probably within the year or two of it launching that we see like certain titles will not just run on this old thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It would make sense. But to go back to the hardware portion of the console, for example, the magnetic Joy-Cons, I think that sounds like an okay idea.
Yeah.
But I think there were bigger problems with the Joy-Cons than being magnetic.
What are you talking about?
Maybe just make sure they don't drift anymore.
What do you Magnets will fix everything, Tofr. Magnets are gonna fix everything. No. I don't know. I'm not, again, probably like the fifth time I said, I'm not the tech guy here. I'm not here to say like magnets will save whatever. I know one of the big issues with the Joy-Cons, with them being on tracks, right, and they were being locked in, the moment you would like drop your Switch and it would land, that little track would just get a little bit more broken because the plastic button to hold it would take the brunt force and get slammed into, right? Which eventually, like, my first set of Joy-Cons were the point where I didn't have to hold the button. I could just like on and off of my Switch, which wasn't great because I'm just sitting there trying to play it. And the whole thing is just like, sorry, hold on, I got it. And I had to hold it a weird way so my Joy-Con wouldn't switch, which meant I had to go buy another $80 pair of Joy-Cons, which those are not cheap. But I say that I have 3 sets of Joy-Cons and a Pro Controller. But I'll say this, Pro Controller, anyone getting a Switch 2 and they got one of these, buy it on day one. This bitch is crazy. You know how many times I've charged this thing in my life? Maybe like 5. Like,
wow.
That's a lie. That's a gross underestimate. But like, genuinely, like when I'm just like, I gotta grab my Switch controller, it's probably dead. No, it's not. This thing's always got battery. And it only doesn't have battery when I'm playing it for 10 hours. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been playing all day. I should turn this off. I'll see you in 2 months when you have a full battery again. Nintendo, whatever's in these Pro controllers, keep it up. That shit probably cures cancer, dog. I swear to God, those things are insane. I'll tell you.
I never got a Pro controller, but I do have 2 wired controllers.
Okay.
One of them is like a smaller Super Mario one that was released alongside Super Mario Wonder.
Yep, I remember that one.
But the other one is a GameCube controller.
Okay.
GameCube controllers are the best.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I'm hoping that as with the Switch, they'll release like these classic controllers that are usable with the Switch 2, because it like Nintendo has this legacy and that they should be proud of, because so many gamers adore everything that Nintendo has done.
Yeah, 100%.
It has been such a big part of so many people's lives that it would be cool to see them keep celebrating that, and not just by keeping on releasing Mario games.
Yeah. Listen, I like me a good Mario, but listen, where's Captain Falcon? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where's the new Donkey Kong? What are we doing, Nintendo? How's
the
Gen
new
10?
remaster? The new Donkey Kong remaster.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want any more remasters, Tofr. Okay, it's not that I don't want any new remasters. Just if you release Tropical Freeze on the Switch 2, I'm gonna riot. I don't want Tropical Freeze again. Stop it. But I would like a new Donkey Kong Country because those games are fun. But
true.
Yeah, I think Nintendo has like a really cool platform here for indies, and I want to go down memory lane in a second and just kind of like the time I played certain indie games, because I'm going to talk about one that I've never talked about before, which would be funny. That was sarcastic, by the way. But let me think here. We were talking about some of the manufacturer stuff inside things. Like I know like 8-Bit Duo seems like the company to make like the modern GameCube controller, or like if you're really feeling it, the Wii Pro controller, which was that weird little oval thing. You'd be like, I kind of feel like this. Let me grab that and make a wireless one for my Switch. Seems like the market. Maybe 10 people buy it, but it might be there. No. But I know we've also seen a bunch of cases and stuff from manufacturers so far, which kind of leaked the design, which could still be wrong, could totally be wrong. Again, we currently don't know, but the world probably does by now when this thing got announced an hour before this episode came out. But like there was, I had Genki, I want to say like a D brand or another brand to put out like a skin or a case. They're like, wait, is that what the Switch 2 looks like? They're like, I can confirm that's what it looks like. And like very hesitant, I'm like, Nintendo at your door, dog. Like you just went to jail. Like what happened? How'd you tell us that? Nintendo wouldn't let you just tell us that in like a tweet. Like what is that?
Yeah. I'm seeing really conflicting messages here. Like I just Googled Genki Switch 2.
Okay.
And then I see 2 days ago that Genki admits that the mock-up they made was based on leaks of the Switch 2. Okay. Then there's articles just saying that they have no idea what the Switch 2 looks like.
Yeah.
It's really conflicting.
Nintendo reportedly sent lawyers to Genki's CES booth over Switch 2 mock-up. Oh no. Genki. You're going to get in big trouble.
We know Nintendo doesn't really like it when you do things that they can't control.
Exactly. Pow World. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, listen. Hopefully we know by now. And I've made the thumbnail using like the fake mock-ups already. Like that's ready, and that's what the video is going to start with. But if we get an actual image of the Switch 2, I'm just going to redo it and put Hades 2 on that image, and then make that the thumbnail. So that's the plan. But yeah, I figured as we sat here and shat on the Switch 2 for the last 40 minutes. We could talk about the good times we have with the Switch.
Plenty.
Yeah, I so many, and like in many of them being indie experiences, right? Where I keep thinking about Moonlighter. When I picked that up on Switch, I found it on sale with some $5 game. Like, I'm not sure this is, but it looks cute. And then fucking fell in love with it. And every time I talk about Moonlighter, I talk about the laying in bed, laying on my stomach, Switch in hand, kicking my feet behind me. And then I get the little blip of just like, 15% battery. I'm like, okay, I'm good. 10% battery, 5% battery. I'm like, okay, we got to make the move. Do I put this on the dock and call it a night? Or do I grab the charger and keep going? And it was always grab the charger and keep going because I wasn't done with the dungeons yet. And like if you go back and find my old Moonlighter review on the channel, there's a clip of me like just recreating the like laying in bed, kicking my feet thing in like an old bedroom in the basement somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, good times with Moonlighter. I fucking love that game on Switch.
It's a coincidence because I only got my first Switch during the pandemic, so in 2020.
Yeah.
And Moonlighter was one of the first games I played on it as well. I picked it up like you on a sale.
Yep.
I just really fell in love with the art style. And I was like, hell yeah. And then I started just buying all of the indies I had on different consoles or on Steam.
Yeah.
Bought all of them for the Switch so I could play them handheld. And then I got a Steam Deck.
And we upgraded, yeah.
But yeah, I played so many excellent indies on
like
that Switch.
Trying to scroll through now and see what else I had on here. I was playing Eastward here on Switch. One that I forgot I had, Down in Bermuda, is like a puzzle game. It was like one of those like isometric but almost like an escape route thing where you activate this thing which will help you solve this puzzle and go and do that. And then when we recently did for a book club, Spiritfarer was one that was like I got it on Switch and I took this to work with me every day. And when it was like, here's your hour lunch break, like I was a marketing coordinator. So I sat at a desk all day. I did whatever. When it was like countdown, like 5 minutes till lunch, it wasn't that strict. It was the way I worked in my head. I'm like, all right, I get my lunch in 5 minutes. I'd go over, put my food in the microwave, set the timer, go back to my desk, work a little bit. And then I would have like Spiritfarer wiki, like typed into Google search. And then the moment I hear like the beep, I'm like, food's done, sit down, grab the fork, enter, go to the wiki. I'm like, okay, switch out, boom, sat up, mounted on the desk, Joy-Cons in hand. I'm like, okay, I need to find limestone. I guess limestone. Okay, so located here. I can't get in there yet. Why can't I get in there yet? Because I have to go this way. And like, I'm sure somewhere on Instagram there is a picture of me at my desk with some show on the monitor playing on my Switch. And being like, yeah, Spiritfarer was the time. And like, oh yeah. As we say and complain, right? Like about the Switch being underpowered, et cetera, et cetera. Like I still have a lot of great memories of playing like indies on here that like I can't necessarily recreate or have on another platform, which is really cool. And I like having those memories with the Switch.
Oh, absolutely. And another thing that I really enjoy about the Switch is like I used to be a really big collector, but then I lost most of my stuff because of things that happened.
Sure.
And I don't have that many collections anymore, except for the indies on my Switch that I have the physical copies for.
Look at him.
Really, I think most of the time you can choose either PlayStation or Switch for physical editions for indie games. Yeah. But I feel like the Switch feels like such a natural platform to collect them for.
Yeah. I feel that for sure. I think I definitely had that, and mine's less visible. There's a little shelf, right? You see my finger right here. Nope. I can't point. Is it here? I can't. Yeah, right. Okay, it's behind the microphone here. Sorry.
Oh no.
Right here. Here's my Switch. But yeah, I have I know like I have Forager physical. I remember I made like a video at one point like physical. Someone's like, you have Forager? That's super rare. I'm like, is it? Oh, I just grabbed it at GameStop. I don't know. I know I have like Killer Queen Black physical. I don't have Dodgeball Academia. I think that's on PlayStation though. But yeah, like the limited run stuff on Switch is really cool too. And I haven't bought a Switch game in so long just because I've been getting like review codes for Steam. But in the right circumstance where it's just like, hey, here's a Switch game that's on sale, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I got this little physical box to go on the shelf. Yeah, it's a good time.
Although I was a bit disappointed. For example, Ollie World that released 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it got a physical edition, but it was an empty box
with the
that
code
just had a download code, and I think that's pushing it. That's pushing it.
I jokingly threw my pen at the desk in like and I launched my pen.
It's gone.
It's in the cables now. I gotta find it. That's a good pen. Sorry, I bought a whole pack from Walmart. We're good. Yeah, no, I definitely, I remember, I think I worked at GameStop when Apex started doing that. Apex Legends had their physical release on Switch, which was buy the case for the code. And that was such a weird move for me where I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we spending the money on the box? And like, as someone who we like our physical stuff on the shelf, it looks cool. I'm getting an empty box, right? Yeah. And it's such a weird thing to think about that people want that. And then I remember seeing Fortnite do it, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, we're not selling you Fortnite, we're selling you skins. So you'd go to Walmart, you'd see on the shelf, they had the $30 copy of Fortnite, and grandma's like, let me get that. And like, just so you know, this isn't the game. The kid can just download the game. This is skins for the game. And grandma's like, I don't understand. I have to buy my son Fortnite. I'm like, no, you don't. If your son has a Switch,
of his own.
He has his own skin. He doesn't. What do you mean skin? I'm like, so you see, like this is the default character. You're spending $30, $10 for each of these skins so that your son, grandson, whatever, can have these. Like, I don't get it. What? How does he have to play the game? Like, if he go, and I'm like, let me get my backpack, ma'am. Just grab it. I'm like, see this? This is the eShop. If you go there and type in Fortnite, it's gonna say free. That's all you gotta do. Yeah. Do I need internet? Yes, you need internet, ma'am. That's a very important part. But yeah, that was definitely a weird move on the Switch. And the Switch is new. I know they also do on PlayStation. That's like the Fortnite codes too. But yeah, that was always a weird move, seeing the empty cases with the code. Where I'm like, I don't want that. I want the cartridge. Give me the cartridge.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
Oh man, Switch.
That being said, if Nintendo this week all of a sudden announced that they're going in a completely different direction, that they just want to go like full on with like a full console that's not portable, that's gonna try and compete with Xbox and PlayStation, and they would make a separate dedicated handheld, I would be really down for that as well.
That'd be interesting as shit. I don't think I think I was comfortably in the mindset, I'm like, this is Nintendo now. They found their bread and butter and they won't change that. So I never even considered the fact that they would go back to like a purely home console, which now I'm saying this out loud, it goes back to like, oh yeah, I guess the lateral move makes more sense because like, why would they change what's not broken? But man, it's interesting to think about, right? Just like another big box at home.
Yeah.
I'd be down for
I mean, it's not like they wouldn't consider it because their best-selling console of all time is the Wii.
Right. Yeah.
So they really could have made a second Wii console, and we're not going to mention the Wii U here, but they could have made just like a newer version of that, and they didn't do that. They chose to like take a step towards what the Switch would eventually become.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a complete surprise if they did decide to do something different. But on the other hand, with all of the leaks and everything seeming to point at a second Switch, I don't know.
We'll see. I'd love if the at-home dock, right, is a little more of a console. If this is the happy medium, right, where instead of just a piece of plastic that displays it, like maybe there's a little more hardware in there that makes it actually a more full-fledged at-home console that makes it run better. Like, I think that'd be cool. Because I'm comfortable right now where like the PlayStation is, where I have my big box at home. If I want to get the Portal, like if I was still commuting to a regular job every day, whatever, I would probably already own a Portal so I could just play my PlayStation at work. I'm not going anywhere. I'm typically here for work, right? So like I don't currently have a need for a portal. In another world, like it's perfect for me. I want to take it upstairs. I want to take it to work. I'll take it to wherever, like play my PlayStation somewhere else. But like if Nintendo made that move, right? We have the Switch in that similar fashion, which currently it is. But if it is the more powerful device when it is on my TV, like I'm all for that. I'm 99% of the time on TV. So I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to handheld consoles. So
yeah,
I think
100%.
Splitting it up would be an interesting move. But if I had to put money on it, I think we're gonna see a Switch 2 rather than anything else.
Pretty copy paste. I agree. I think that's the plan. But with that in mind, Tofr, you plan on getting, without seeing this thing, because we know the world has not seen the Switch 2 yet. As of today, Thursday the 15th. Sorry. Thursday the 16th. Nobody has seen the Switch 2 yet. Mm-hmm. Are you going to get one on launch?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I play most of my games on my Steam Deck right now, and the Nintendo will have to convince me,
right,
to like invest another big sum, because I don't have like the biggest budget to spend on video games and anything gaming related, so I have to make tough choices when it comes to that. I don't have any of the big two consoles. I don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation 5. It depends on what they're gonna bring to the table.
Yeah. No, I think I'm in the same spot. Yeah, it's same spot. I'm not feeling like I want this guy quite yet. Like I said, whenever Pokemon happens, I'm probably going to get the Switch 2, because regardless of how much I bitch and moan, I'm still going to play Pokemon. But like, I'm still going to complain when they're bad. And this feels like the generation where I want to stand my ground and be like, Gen 10 looks like ass. Like if it genuinely looks worse than Scarlet and Violet, which is so hard to do, I'm going to just be like, I'm interested. I really am. But I can't keep financially contributing to something that we're just gonna be like, yeah, bad game's okay because we know it's gonna sell because it's Pokemon. Like that is, and I say that now until 4 months from now when they announce Gen 10, and I was like, you know what? Fuck. Runs like ass, but I like Pokemon. Like it's, I don't know.
At least you have the Pokemon trading card game on your mobile.
It's true. I haven't even opened my cards today, dude.
Because we don't have that in Belgium.
What?
Yeah.
No shit. VPN.
It's the getting cards from packs is considered gambling.
So like y'all don't even have like booster packs? Like you go to like your local store and get like an actual like booster pack? Like is that still thing?
Yeah, you can buy that.
Okay.
You can buy that. It's just in mobile games. For example, we don't have Diablo, whatever it's called.
Immortals.
Yeah, Diablo Immortal.
Okay.
We don't have that game in Belgium either.
I get it.
And I don't mind the Diablo one, but I really wish I could play the Pokemon card game.
You can get yourself a VPN so you can get oh god, you cannot see that. The Ponyta and the Siglif and the Pidgey and the Dedenne and the Mythical Slab. That pack was ass. It was not a good pack. It was a bad pack.
It was terrible, yeah.
I don't think it was no EXs, no full arts, but yeah, chat, Switch 2, that's what we think. Let us know that they've already announced it and how much we were wrong and right about this whole thing. What if they just the Switch 2 announcement is coupled with an Indie World Direct, and like here's 40 indie games, right, that you could just play on your Switch 2.
That would have been cool.
Let's go, Nintendo. Let's get it. Indies, baby. Let's run it.
I'm also like hoping that I read somewhere that the release window for the console would be this spring.
It's a Nintendo move. Could be.
Which I think is pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they launched with like, I don't know, a sequel to like a real.
Well, how's it going, friends? Discord imploded, I think. I have a frozen Tofr on my screen. I'm going to see if they come back. This was Nintendo. Nintendo came in and said, Tofr, you don't get to talk about our Switch like that. Now let's see, is it on my end or is it on Tofr's end? Is it me? Let's find out. Hold on, squad. We're seeing. Looks like it's okay on my... Uh-oh, Tofr died. There it is, team. The episode's over. I hate to see it. Ah, shucks. Now what? feel like I should cut and then come back. Should I sing for you guys? I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Hard to do a podcast by yourself when Tofr's gone. Yeah. I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately. Thanks for watching this episode. Don't forget to like it now. Yeah. All right, let me pause. I told you, standing episodes are wild, everybody. But but yeah, that's the Switch 2. Let us know what happened with the announcements and stuff, if anything happened. And if nothing got announced, you fools. You thought we were getting an announcement today? You idiots. Anywho, the timestamps are fucked. I'm not even worried about this episode. I don't care anyway. But we want to take a time to do some what we've been playing. Not too much this week. I played a demo. I played a little bit of a game, and you played a game. Mathematically makes sense, I guess, if I go first. God, man, I talk a lot, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, good. Anyway, Tofr. Last week, we talked about a lot of mouse games. Remember that?
We did.
We talked about Squeak Ross. We also talked about an adorable little game called Burrow, which is a survival game that, sorry you guys are hearing whatever show I was watching. What was I watching? What was I watching? Sorry, it was like an old lady talking. So anyway, I was playing Burrow. For anyone who missed last episode, Burrow got announced. I think it was early last year. Oh, that might have been 2023. Anyway, it is a survival game where you play as this little mouse, and you're going back to your old home after growing up, and kind of being rushed out of it. And now the whole landscape's covered in snow, and you're just trying to kind of get around, reminisce, explore, do some adventuring. This game was super cute. I really like it. I like it a lot. So far, the demo is very simple. I think if I wasn't dying and getting lost, I probably would have knocked it out in like 15 minutes. Okay. The demo gives you spawn in the house. You're like, hey, what are we going to do? And then there's a cute little cutscene. I'm trying to get to the actual game here. Once you get into the house, they give you the crafting table, or it's like, hey, you want to make an axe? You got to go get some wood. You step outside, you just find a bunch of sticks, some twigs. You break them down, you bring them in, boom, I made my tool. The tool stays your inventory. After you get some of that basic stuff out, you can make clothing, which is essentially armor. It gives you more defense and stuff. There was no combat in this demo. I don't know if there will be combat. I think the biggest thing is you're battling the wild, like the weather. Because as you stay outside, it gets colder and colder. So you'll see the screen start to frost over and turn white and close in on you. I died twice because I could not find the house. I walked too far away, and it leaves footprints where I'm like, okay, cool, got it. But my ass was wandering all around the place. Be like, okay, so if I go here, I got some sticks. I go here and I got some grass. I go here, I can make a sweater out of this. And then I'm like, oh, it's getting cold. Where do I go? And then my footsteps are like a roller coaster all around the snow. I'm like, I don't know where the house is. And then I'd walk too far past it. I'm like, okay, got it. So then I would die, go back out, get my stuff, grab it again. And when you die, it gives you a very Dark Souls-esque, all white and then in black, just you froze to death or something like that. I'm like,
oh, wow,
what happened here? But other than that, it's really just that so far. It's super just cozy. You're not running around doing I don't want the Dark Souls comparison to give the implication that it's oh my god, something's gonna come out and eat me. There may be enemies to fight later. I know at the end of the chapter, not really a spoiler, it's part of the main story. You run into, I think it's your aunt, and then an owl comes in and grabs her and takes her away. So now I think your adventure becomes going to save this other mouse from this giant owl that, honestly, at that point I would assume they got eaten. I have no idea. But yeah, it was really adorable. I love the vibe of it. It's got a kind of storybook-esque thing. You can sleep until the morning. Again, if you sit in the chair and you can knit up clothes, it got too cold too quick, I can make a new sweater, some pants, a hat, so you don't freeze as quickly. You still got to find your damn house, otherwise you die like I did. I didn't get to explore too many of the systems because there's just not all that much implemented in this yet. But everything I got to experience is right there. I'm really into it. I want to play more of this. I want to experience more of it when there's more of a play test. If you guys want to send me some devs and want me to play some more, I'm here for it. If you need voices, someone to play them out, I can play a little mouse. That was Elmo, but anyway. Yeah, really adorable. I think I'm going to sink a lot of time into this one when it drops.
Cool. I mean, it's not a genre that I would usually play, but just seeing it in action, I really want to give it a try.
Yeah. It's freshness, man. And like, I'm same, right? Like, I'm not the survival guy. I say it all the time where like, I get the itch for Minecraft. Every now and again, one will come out that I'm like, cool, I'm going to dive into it. But like, I'll never finish it, right? Like, I won't stick around and really see it through to the end game. But this seems like on our Switch episode, right? Like on a Switch or more likely my Steam Deck, like chilling on the couch, watching a show and just grinding out, like getting items, upgrading resources, whatever. Like I could just get lost in this. Just the mundane. Mundane sounds so like negative. Like just getting lost in the loop of like do it again, find the thing, make the thing. Like I'm all for it. And I hear you can see now like the freezing. I'm like, it's getting cold. I gotta run. But then I said I gotta get more grass before I go home. Didn't matter. I was gonna die. I wasn't gonna get the grass anyway. But yeah, no, I'm having a really, really, really good time with it, and now I just want more.
I can imagine.
I gotta find this.
I'm just really captivated by the visuals.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, this is just the intro area. I have to imagine there's more. There's gonna be more cool environments. This is where I found like there's my dead stuff. I found all my materials, and then find it.
You die again?
And then I died. You fainted. That's what it is. Yeah, you just dead.
Damn, brutal.
Yeah, I think this one was announced at some kind of Xbox showcase. I want to say there's something with Game Pass on there. I could be totally making that up. Winter Burrow Game Pass. Yes, yep, it will be on Game Pass. Bet. So whenever that one drops, I don't think we have any dates yet. I mentioned in our like most anticipated episode, assuming 2025, but. It's an indie game, so we could be looking at 2026, 2029, something like that. So, yeah.
It does say 2025 on Steam right
okay,
now.
Score, baby! I hope it's a launch title for the Switch, too.
Can you imagine?
That'd be pretty wild.
That would be awesome. Like, there are worse launch titles than that.
Yeah. Like a Breath of the Wild? Like...
Jesus.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It's a good
Who's
game.
the Zelda kid anyway?
Can't stand him. Little guy, hit. Jeez, say words. But anyway, I'm done with that one. What you been playing?
Well, most of what I've been playing, I cannot talk about just yet.
Felt that.
Last weekend, I was asked by a friend of the show, Daphne, to play It Takes Two with her.
Yeah.
And good God, what a game.
Yeah, it's so great.
It doesn't really need that much introduction. I guess it won Game of the Year at the Game Awards in 2021.
Sure did.
So people will probably be aware of it. For those who don't know, it's basically a co-op game where you play this couple who are about to divorce when their daughter like prays to like a magic book so that you would fall in love with each other again, and then the book comes to life, Dr. Hakim. And now you're two dolls who are trying to get back into their human forms, try and get back to their daughter, and it's amazing. The creativity on show here is just insane. One moment you're exploding like armies of wasps, and then the next moment you're trying to get into the castle of this toy elephant. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. I'm only halfway through, so I still have to. Oh, there she is!
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
Princess
her so
Cutie.
She's so cute.
Yeah. No, don't do that. I still have flashbacks from that. I didn't want to spoil it, but god damn it, no. It's literally the worst thing I've ever done in a video game.
I have
killed thousands of people in video games.
Oh, dude.
It's
so
the creativity on show here. Like, there's so many ways that the game gets you to engage with it. They keep on introducing new mechanics I think we just stopped at this moment in time where my character gets to control time, while Daphne's character gets to clone herself.
Yeah.
But before that, I was able to like become bigger or smaller.
Nice.
There are weapons that come into use. There's this part of the game where you're just playing basically a fantasy RPG.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool, and also I can imagine if you're playing this as a couple, that this is really good couples therapy.
I have to imagine, right? I adore Hazelight, right? Me and my buddy Kanai, we've played through all their games. They just announced their new one, Split Fiction, which will be out here in March, which I'm so gassed for. But we played A Way Out, fell in love with it, and since then, and like seeing Split Fiction, playing It Takes Two, it looked like A Way Out was like, let's figure out how this co-op split screen online thing can work.
Yeah.
And when they figured that out, they said, bet, now imagination gets set loose. Because like It Takes Two does so much every single chapter to be like, you already did this, now we're doing this, and now we're doing this, and now we're doing this. And they change it so much, but it never feels overwhelming of like, I've already been playing so much like this. Why'd they take this away? Like there is so much fun to be had all the way through that game. And seeing Split Fiction, which is just like, yeah, you're playing as two authors whose stories get like merged together. So you have this like super futuristic and then like fantasy. I'm like, this shit's going to be so fucking sick.
Absolutely.
I love Hazelight. I love what they do so far. I was a big fan of Brothers Tale of Two Sons, which was much smaller in the scale, like the scope of what they do now.
Is that one of theirs as well?
Yep. That was like their first one. I think it might have been before Joseph Ferris, or at least before he was like as iconic as he is. You know, fuck the Oscars and all that.
Okay.
But yeah. So Brothers Tale of Two Sons was their first one, and then A Way Out is kind of their first move to this new co-op style thing, and I'm all for it. Hazelight could like put poop on a plate. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty good. That's pretty good, dude.
Gotta be co-op.
It better be co-op poop. Yeah.
I didn't realize that Hazelight were the people who made A Way Out until I ran into two figurines of like the main characters in that game. That was really cool.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. We were so excited.
I can't wait to play the rest of the game later this week.
Oh, yeah.
And then to dive into that new adventure in March.
Yes.
It looks gorgeous.
I can't wait. Are you and Daphne planning to play Split Fiction?
She had no idea that it was coming out, so I sent it to her, and I guess she will probably want to play it. I don't know if that's going to be with me or someone else.
Sure. Well, tell her it needs to be with you. I think it'd be great if we did a 4-player episode, because I'm playing with Kanai. So if we were able to do a 4-person episode where we all got to talk about Split Fiction, I think that'd be really cool. So I'll lock Kanai in. Because the cool thing with their games is they like make them as accessible as possible, that it's like you get the friend pass. So if you buy the game, exactly. So one person has to buy it, or if you're just like, we really want to play it, like at launch the game is $60. I'm sure you can probably get it on sale now for less. But like if you and a friend go halvesies, as long as one of you owns the game, the other person can basically just download the demo and they can play the whole game for free. They just don't get the achievements or anything. But you get to play the whole game for free. So if anyone's interested in you and a friend, like $30 each, well, it's PS5 generation now, so $35 each probably. Split a game and go.
The full price for Split Fiction is $50.
And Hazelight keeping the price in. God. Joseph Ferris, you want to come on the podcast? Because I feel like I would just be, I don't even know. But I'd love to have Joseph Ferris on here to just talk. I don't have anything in mind. Just fucking talk at me, dude. I love their games. Hell yeah. And you guys said you were at, I forgot what part you said you were at. I'm trying to think how close to the end you are.
We just did the most horrible thing you can imagine.
Got it.
Now we're about to like start controlling time and cloning ourselves.
Fair enough. Yeah, I love this little thing.
But I slept very badly after.
It was haunting. It was a haunting adventure, I'll tell you.
They make it the worst thing as well. Like it keeps dragging on. Oh god! And she's like, "Oh, but we can be friends." Oh,
yeah. We struggled. We did that on stream. I was so mad.
At this point in the game, I'm like, you two are the worst parents I have ever met.
Right? They're so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
they'll
I'm
get better.
hoping that gets turned around.
Dude, I'll spoil it. They all die. Kid's an orphan. That's the plot.
But does Princess Cutie survive?
Probably not.
Oh.
You ripped the stuffing out of her, brother. What do you think was going to happen? It's like...
I know.
I actually do not remember. I do not remember. I just remember seeing at whatever showcase, it might have been Game Awards or something. They just said, hey, by the way, you can get Princess Cutie as a plush. I said it to Kanai. I'm like, we legally have to. He's like, yep. Yeah. And then I remember the day when his came in, he sent the picture. He's like, look what I got. And then I was just like, me too. We just sent each other a selfie. You guys play It Takes Two.
Let's talk about another game.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Cutie. Sorry, Cutie. We love you. I have been playing this game called Asterism. And Tofr, I told you that this is like a game that I would imagine you would have brought to my attention and be like, hey, I found this thing. It was really cool. So the developer reached out to me a couple weeks ago. It was during like New Year, so I was a little like backed up, and I just got a chance to check it out last night as of recording. But Asterism is this like space orchestra music game. The first thing I thought of was like Sayonara Wild Hearts meets like the music videos from We Are OFK, which we just recently talked about. And I'm digging it. I'm having a really good time. So the way it essentially starts is you get this little instruction. It's 5 buttons. It's the 4 directions on the D-pad, or if you're using WASD. And then I think it's enter on PC. I played with controller, so it was just A button. But everything in the game is made in like claymation, physical, tactile like items that are then converted into game assets. You start as this astronaut, you're roaming around your ship, and you're just like, okay, we need to find this thing. We're getting radio waves. Let's look at the planets. We can't find it. I'm going to have to get closer. So you climb in your little spaceship, you fly out there, and then on your way, you find music, which then that turns into a music video. So you're like flying through space, experiencing like what's going out in space here. I think you're flying to like the sun first. And I'm trying to find like the first music video section here. Yeah, so like here, there'll be like little mini games, right? In the bottom corner will tell you like, hey, press left, press right, press A. What buttons are like interactable during this section of the music video. And then you'll use those to progress. There's no challenge. There's no like, you got to get an A+ on this music video by completing blah, 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 blah. There are things to do. The one level you're in like a little boat out in the water, and you're trying to take out these tornadoes by like flashing your light into the eye of the tornado and then find the lighthouses. And like, there's active things to do, but there is no like, oh man, you only accomplished 3 out of 5. That's a C. Congratulations. Do better next time. Like, it is a lot more about experiencing just the music and the scenario. And I'm all about that. It's really cool. Claire in the email was just like, hey, if you're planning to cover it before release, this comes out tomorrow as the episode going out the 17th. But she's like, if you're going to play up to a certain level, which I think is technically level 3, 4 of the actual music videos. And that one is called Contour. That one's my personal favorite. I love the style of it. It's a lot of like origami, which I can still show here. You're like spamming the A button to fold and unfold paper, which turn into different objects. Then you're like roaming around these hills and then painting with it. And there's a simplicity to it that I think like I could see a lot of people being like, there's no game here. Like, it is just you're watching music videos and maybe spamming a button or two. I'm sure if you truly wanted to, you could just hit go and put the controller down and the game would just go. Like, there's a timeline at the top. You can see like the cassette tape flying across. That's just how long it's going to be. But like in this first one, or in like Contour here, there's a map you have in your hand, and every time you look down, the scene changes. So like I look down, look up, we're in a new spot. I look down, look up, we're in a snowy mountain. Look down, look up, we're in the forest. And I'm like, this is really fun. Like it's, again, nothing you're competing for, nothing you're trying to accomplish, but like, I feel like it's really good for the ADHD to just be able to swing something around or move something around while the music plays. I'm having a really good time with it. I think I'm probably about a third of the way through. It looks like there's probably 11 levels to play. Like when I finished the third one last night before doing this review here, I'm excited to dive back in. I don't know if I get the chance to tonight, just because as soon as we finish this, I have like 14 other things to do. But like I said, like this was screaming Tofr to me. Like this seemed like something you'd be really into.
Yeah. When you'd mentioned it before we started recording, I immediately wishlisted it.
Yeah. Listen, when this goes up, I hit up the devs like, hey, can I get a second key? Can I just maybe Tofr want to play? Yeah. This seems like, I think I'm not the most like musically inclined person. Like I can find a song that I enjoy. And for me personally, I can't say I'm going to like slap these onto my ultimate indie playlist right now and jam out to them. But like, that's on first listen. I could see myself being like, actually, you know what? No, I really fuck with this. And just finding the one that I just put on loop for the next 4 weeks, like I did with We Are OFK, and just like wake up to that song, go to sleep to that song, shower to that song. Like I said, I've only listened to like a third of the soundtrack so far. So there could just be an absolute banger in there that's about to change my whole life. And I don't know yet. And I hope that's true because I love the vibe I'm getting. It's so cutesy. It reminds me of my like childhood days of, like, I don't know if you Crashbox, if that's something that might be a US thing, that might be a public network thing. And I'm not sure, but it was a show that was just like one of your PBS kids, like claymation. There was like Captain Bones where he's like, here's one of those like matchstick puzzles, right? Where it's like, here's the equation, move one bone to make the equation right. And you're like sitting there doing the door like, oh, I know you have to do this. Like, did you find the answer, matey? And then move the thing. And that's all done in like claymation. And this doesn't do the kid, like look at the screen, solve the puzzle thing, but the claymation and the vibe reminds me so much of that. I'm like, there's a nostalgia to this that I'm all about. It's really cool.
Do you know if all of the music is by Claire Morwood as well? Because if everything is made by one person, that would be pretty.
Let me find out here. Don't look at my doc. What are you guys doing? Let me do a quick Asterism. I feel like I looked at this last night, but I was also scribbling something else. I don't think I did. Music. This is the wrong Asterism. It's a different Asterism.
Oh, it says, yeah, I just looked it up on Steam.
Okay.
It's the debut album of solo musician and game developer Shimmer Glitch.
Shimmer Glitch. Okay. Hell yeah. We love it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love this shit. Cool. Only indies, baby. I don't see no AAA making big old music video albums. But yeah, you can see some of like the indie aspects of it, right? Like this level we're seeing right now, like the bulbs of these flowers, they're all the same. Like there's no variety in these. They all are the same shape, the same point, leaning to the left. They pop open the same flower, which maybe will take you out a little bit in that sense of just like, oh no, I'm looking at the same thing a million times. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt your experience. I think it's just noticeable.
Listen. We live in a world where Vampire Survivors is a massive hit. Everything looks exactly the same in Vampire
That's
Survivors.
Not true. There's the red one, and there's the blue one, and then there's the blue ball, and then there's the red book and the blue book, and those are different. Yeah. But no, like I said, I'm excited to dive back in and play more of it. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff as I go further. Thinking of some of the things I've seen from the trailer that I'm like, okay, I know this looks cool, and I'm not sure, like, I'm going to get to the level and be like, this is one from the trailer, and I get to play it now. Really simple, really, really relaxing. I had stopped at the, like, hey, if you're going to do coverage before the game comes out, play this. So I'm like, okay, I'll stop here just for the sake of coverage and getting sleep. But also you get to ride an acorn. That's cool. But yeah. A really dope game.
Definitely checking that out.
Absolutely. 100%. And like I said, this comes out. I mean, whenever this gets broken out as a separate video, the game's already out, I'm sure. But yeah, for anyone watching this on Thursday when the episode goes out, it comes out tomorrow on Steam. I do not know if there's a price listed yet on Steam. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
There isn't, I think.
Okay. So, TBD, but wish listed at least, so you know when it goes on sale or when it comes out. That's important.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what we've been playing this week. Almost to the timestamp because it's fucked up anyway, so we're good. Oh boy. But yeah, guys, let us know what you've been playing this week, all the games, especially the indies. And now, speaking of indies, let's move on to the indies releasing this week. For the week of January 16th through January 22nd, we've got a handful of releases coming at you. We have Morcole's Regasts. I hate what Regasts. Regasts. Where the fuck it is. January 16th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. We have Tyrant's Realm coming on January 16th for PC. Blade Chimera on January 16th for PC and Switch. Kill a Million Rats on January 16th for PC. Is that a Vampire Survivors clone? That gives Vampire Survivors clone.
I think so.
Bad. Yeah. Double check. I'll keep going. Split Town on January 16th for PC and early access. Asterism on PC on January 17th. Pairs and Perils on January 20th for PC. You find it?
Yeah, it's a base building hybrid strategy game.
Not what I thought it would be.
No.
Okay. Well, the more we know. We have Jotun Slayer, Hordes of Hell coming on January 21st for PC and early access. We have Vambrace Dungeon Monarch on January 21st for PC and early access. We have Dad's coming on January 21st for PC. Recently announced we have Lonely Mountain Snow Riders on January 21st for January 21st. I can put a TH in there instead of an ST. I'm not sure what's happening there. January 21st for PC and Xbox, also on Game Pass. Do you know, is that PC and console Game Pass, I assume? I don't know if we saw it.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good deal.
I think so.
And around the list, we have Grade Lords on January 22nd for PC and early access. Yeah, the 21st is a busy day. I mean, the 16th too.
Yeah, it's kicking off again.
Baby. Again. The indies are coming in. We love it. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, let us know which of those indie games you're looking forward to. Any of those grabbing your attention off that list?
I will be checking out That's Coming, because
Yep.
that looks like it's gonna take the chaos from games like Overcooked and make it more adorable.
Yeah,
it's art style.
Yeah, I think we both submitted emails on that one, so that one looks cool.
Yeah. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders is another one I'll be checking out because I loved Lonely Mountains Downhill, which was a mountain bike game. And this one is going to be multiplayer, and I'm hoping it gets an audience to keep the multiplayer part alive.
Do you know, is it competitive multiplayer? Is it just like...
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and Asterism, the one you just introduced.
Yep. A mess. It's a standard episode, Tofr. We know what we're getting into. I know I'm looking at Blade Chimera. That one looks really cool. It's it's weird. I think it's just a visual thing, but it's giving Katana Zero vibes with the style. Yeah. But it's like a 2D platformer where like you lose your memory and you partner up with a ghost who's like, I can turn into a sword. You want to use me? I'm like, okay. But I'm like, I don't trust you though. You're a ghost. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much. It looks good. It looks fun. I love the picture art's great. And yeah, also Dad's Coming looks like a really cute one, so I'm excited for that one. Boy, oh boy. Now this is the part of the show where we typically want to give a spotlight to some upcoming indie games or some underrated ones you guys haven't heard about. And also we do your favorite indies, but again, we haven't had one written in, so write about your favorite indies. We'll get your name on the show. But this week was my turn. I wanted to bring up It's a Wrap, which I got a key for last year. This one is, and I know for a fact, a Steam Next Fest game that I got to check out and really fell in love with, because you are playing as both the action hero of movies as well as the editor making him look cool.
No way.
Yes. So
that sounds cool.
It's really dope. So I'll run this trailer back here. I forget the hero's name, but the first episode or the first movie is like this Indiana Jones running from the boulder type thing. And you're like, oh no, I messed up the jump and my guy died. Cut, run it back, whatever. And then you get like the premiere movie editor timeline and you find out which actions are happening when. So you're like, okay, this pillar's falling too fast. I need to drag it up the timeline. I'm like, oh, this is falling too slow. I need to move it this way or whatever. This is happening too early. She's like, oh, there, I made it too soon, so he got hit by the rock. So it's a puzzle game where you have to figure out the perfect timing of the entire course. But then after that, you actually play the 2D platformer part of running your character down the level, and then you jump platform, everything else. Johnny Rush, that's our guy. That's our
Rush. Oh, yeah.
I never finished it. I know I got stuck at a puzzle. Yeah, there's some insane shit, dude. You're talking there's like crazy boss monsters, you spitting fireballs, like, you burned. Now we know we got to put up a wall so the fireball gets stopped and everything. As you progress, sometimes there'll be levels where like the items are locked. Like on this one, like that wall can't move. We know this is going to happen, but you can't mess with that time. That's something you have to work around. but like on another one was like a giant robot watching. You have to like time yourself with the panels that are swinging so he doesn't catch you, because if he does, zapped and like. There's just a lot of really cool, fun things about this one. And as someone who loves to edit, where I'm like, fuck, this is really cool. I'm all about this one. Yeah, I fell in love with It's a Wrap when I played it. This one's on, at least on Steam. I forget if this one came out on console or not yet. I imagine probably not. It seems like a very mouse and keyboard heavy game, but yeah, It's a Wrap. I really dug this one.
I can imagine that being hard to play on a console, but
yeah,
it looks like a blast, especially like I also really enjoy editing videos. Yeah, it looks right up my alley.
Quick peek. I am seeing there was a Switch teaser last year. I don't see a date with that, so it might be on Switch already. Yeah, it is on Switch, which touch control is probably a doable one. So Switch and PC for that one. There's also a demo, at least on the Switch. So if you want to check that one out, I highly recommend it. I was huge fan. A demo is also on Steam, so cool game. Only 46 reviews. I gotta fix that. Hopefully 47 this week.
That's a shame.
Yeah. But that is our indie highlight for the week, which means Tofr, we're ready to wrap this bad bitch up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode. I keep doing the thing where I'm like, I wait for a response. I'm like, bet, and let me go. And then you're like, oh, so go ahead. Oh, what? Oh, what, Tofr? Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted.
I was just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See? Now it was perfect. Perfect synergy. It's a standing episode, Tofr. We don't know what we're going to do. Oh, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you're watching the episode and you're enjoying it, please do us a favor, hit that thumbs up. It helps spread the video so more people get to see it. If you're listening on audio services, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc., be sure to leave that 5-star review. I know people are starting to do more Spotify video these days, and I don't know if that's like a big exclusive thing or if like we could just do that. Might look at the logistics. That's something you guys might be interested in, seeing the video version on Spotify. We'll see. We'll see if we're important enough for that. We don't know. Also, quick reminder, don't forget Hollow Knight Book Club is on the 28th. So that's like 2 weeks yet to play. So if you haven't started, you better get to it. The game's long. I think it's like 60 hours to finish. So yeah, we're on something like that. Tofr, if little scrubbininis wanted to find you on the internet, where would they go?
They can find all of my information at my link tree, which is Play Nice Kids in one word. And obviously there are also my reviews and those of my colleagues on somanygames.co.uk to check out.
There you have it. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And go play some more indie games. We'll find you. Oh, that's what you think about the Switch too. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Full circle.